जयकांत स्टार्ट करिए। मेरी आवाज नहीं आ रही है
गुड मॉर्निंग। आ
आपकी।
रही है सर। मैं ओके। गुड मॉर्निंग एवरीवन। On the behalf of UGC HRDC RDVV Jabalpur, I welcome Dr. Madan Mohan Goel for today's resource person. Dr. Madan Mohan Goel is the Vice Chancellor of Starix University, Gurugram, and a distinguished academic leader with the vast expertise in educational governance across state, central, and private universities. A seasoned researcher, guide, orator, and writer. He is the founder of Nedonics School of Thought, which he patiently promotes, drawing on his extensive knowledge of Indian economy. With 40 years of teaching experience, including 16 years as a professor of economics at Kurukshetra University, Dr. Goel has held significant administrative role such as Vice Chancellor of GNU Jaipur, Director cum Vice Chancellor of Rajiv Gandhi National Institute of Youth Development, and Pro Vice Chancellor of Veer Kunwar Singh University, Bihar. He has also served as Dean, Chairman of various departments, and Advisor of Public Finance to the 6th State Finance Commission of Haryana. Internationally recognized, Dr. Goel was the first ICCR Chair Professor of Hankook Universities of Foreign Studies in South Korea and has been honored as an ambassador for peace by the Universal Peace of Federation. He is also an adjunct professor at the School of Indic Studies, Institute of Advanced Science, Dartmouth, USA. His global contributions were acknowledged with the Rotary Foundation Award for International Understanding in the year 1983, representing India in the USA, UK, and Canada. A prolific scholar, Dr. Goel has guided 23 PhD scholar and 25 MPhil scholar and has completed two major research projects. He is also a recipient of two gold medal for his academic excellence in MPhil in economics and postgraduate diploma in journalism and mass communication. Sir, on the behalf of all the participants, we welcome you, sir. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Jayakant Gupta, for speaking kind words about me. Let me be allowed to share the PPT.
Sir, please, sir.
Dr. Pandey, allow me to use the PPT. Okay. Jayakant, you can take some photographs and send it to Pandeyji so that it reaches me. Okay. Now, let me tell you that
Okay, okay, sir.
fraternity of teachers, and I'm grateful to Dr. Pandey for providing me this wonderful opportunity to share my thoughts to you this morning on a very important topic, sustainable development goals. Probably that is clear to you. And we have to think in terms of the alternatives available to the government of India, how we can solve the problem of sustainable development in right and separate. And friends, I'm talking from Kurukshetra. Hopefully, you know about Kurukshetra, Jayakant. Jayakant ji, do you know
Yes,
about
sir, definitely.
Kurukshetra? Kurukshetra is known for
Yes,
what?
sir. Sir, Kurukshetra, that is the place of Mahabharata,
Please don't remember
where
Kurukshetra for Mahabharata. Remember Kurukshetra as the first ever university on the planet, because the objective of a university is to get
okay,
knowledge. And the best possible knowledge has been given
okay,
by
okay,
Lord Krishna himself in the form of Bhagavad Gita. Let me tell you, Bhagavad Gita is a
okay,
ism neutral, religion free treatise on management, relationship management, and welfare economics. And to achieve sustainable development goals with morality, opulence, victory, and empowerment, believe that Krishna as God and Arjun as our own soul is with us. And that is called Ek Shloki Gita. If you put it in Google search engine, find out Ek Shloki Gita, you will find Yatra Yogeshwar Krishna, Yatra Parthar Dharardhar, Tatra Sri Vijayo Bhutar Mam. With this note, let me come to the topic. Topic is basically Gita-based needonomics. Needonomics is based on Gita. It is economics of needs. I'll talk it about today, and you will find that how I proceed with it. We must understand, analyze, interpret sustainable development, sustainable human development, and sustainable development goals. These are very important things to be understood by the teachers of economics. Jaikanji, I want to make a quick survey of the audience. How many of them are teaching in colleges and how many are in university system? I want that after listening me, you develop a research aptitude for doing research on needonomics. All are the teachers of economics or some other teachers are also?
Economics, commerce, and
Sir,
management.
Fine, wonderful, wonderful. So economics is a mother science and commerce and management has come out of it. And I will be able to develop my thoughts by making you understand how economics, needonomics is needed even for commerce and management professionals. So from that point of view, I will be sharing my thoughts. So first of all, if you try to understand what is development, what is economic development, what is sustainable development, there are definitions available to us in the literature. Even if you search in Google, you will find what is sustainable development. Sustainable development is that development which ensures intergeneration equity. Whereas when we were talking about economic development in the modern terms, we were talking of intra-generation equity. We were producing GDP and GNP for our own consumption. But state sustainable development talks of intergeneration equity, meaning thereby we must save something for the next generation. That is called intergeneration equity.
System.
Intra-generation equity and intergeneration equity have to be understood for understanding the sustainable development. And sustainable human development is needed for sustainable development. Even to achieve sustainable development goals, the human resources should be sustainable so that they are utilized practically as human resources for both sustainable development and sustainable development goals. Let me honestly tell you that there are 17 targets of sustainable development goals. I'll talk it about it later. But for the time being, I want to tell you that India is a good performer in terms of sustainable development goals. Niti Aayog is monitoring the functioning of sustainable development goals, and India is enjoying 71st position for 2023-24. It is a significant improvement over 2020-21 and 2018, which is the baseline of the report 2018. So scores for states also, if you study the states, different states, 28 states and 11 union territories, you will find that it varies from 57 to 79 in 2023-24, making a substantial improvement from the year 2018 when we were ranging between 42 to 69. And let me tell you, the credit goes entirely to Niti Aayog, which is monitoring the sustainable development goals in India. To achieve sustainable development goals, we must adopt needonomics with input from Gita and Anugita. I have already talked to you, Jaykant, about Gita. I'll tell to you about Anugita later, or you are interested to know about it here only? Do you want to know about Anugita? Because the needonomics is basically based on Gita and Anugita. And I will explain it basically. The sustainable development goals can be achieved by adopting this Gita-based needonomics. So there are many opportunities. Artificial intelligence is in play. How to make use of artificial intelligence? Uses are fine, but there are misuses also. And we have to understand both mini-max strategy. If there are losses to be minimized. And similarly, we have to think in terms of maximum strategy. We have to take into account both these strategies are being talked about from linear programming that has to be understood properly if we want to have sustainable development goals. Globalization. Globalization means think globally, act locally with values and ethics. These are, in fact, I want to develop your research aptitude to understand, analyze, interpret, and adopt neuronomics. For that, a second lecture I may be delivering on research methodology for neuronomics, how we have to go for. Neuronomics means economics of needs, and that is practically coming from Bhagavad Gita, which is used by LIC of India in its logo, Yogam Kshemam Bahamyam. I'll be developing thoughts in just a few minutes. Kindly understand what are the challenges before the government of India to basically go in for solving the problems of development, sustainable human development, and sustainable development goals. The challenges are fear of failure, control of population, employment, converting careless and careless to careful, and useless to useful, bridge the gap, reskilling, reassessing, enhancing, transfer goods as culture honestly to the next generation. Next generation is to be taken up very importantly for all these aspects to be understood. Challenges in stopping wastage of food and grains to ensure zero hunger, even if we don't rely the 105th ranking among 27 nations in terms of the global index 2024 by questioning the credibility of data releasing agencies. Only 3 days back, we have received the report Global Hunger Index. Government of India sometimes reacts to that. They don't accept it. But in the sustainable development goals, we have to go for zero hunger. But it's very sad to note that we are ranking 105th among 127 nations, which has been given the data for Global Hunger Index. Develop ideas to develop the capabilities and capacities for environmental concerns. Sustainable development as intergeneration equity have to be understood, and we have to practically go in for just a minute. We have to understand these 5 R's I'll be talking about: resistance, resilience, redesign, and replenishment. We must understand Gita-based neuronomics for neuro lifestyle taken from logo of LIC of India, which I was talking to you, which is practically coming from LIC of India talks of Yogam Kshemam Bahamyam. Your welfare is our responsibility. And let me tell you, Jaykant, I don't have a LIC policy till today. But the moment I understood what is this Yogam Kshemam Bahamyam from my Guru Gita, the heart of Krishna, Anyanya Chintanto Mayojana Payupashte Esham Nityabhyuktanam Yogam Kshemam Bahamyam. Meaning thereby, Lord Krishna says, if you believe me completely, absolutely, and wholeheartedly, whatever you need, that I'll give you, whatever you have, that I'll take care of. And that is the gentleman promise of God to everybody, of all of us. And let me tell you, whenever and wherever I created a need, that stand fulfilled. And I can give you 101 evidences that whenever I created a need, that was fulfilled. So with this introduction, I'll be coming to the topic to be understood in right perspectives. I have given you, I think somebody might have talked to you yesterday also, this 17 targets of sustainable development goals. You can understand it. We have to talk from no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and green energy, decent work and economic growth, industry, innovation and infrastructure, reduce inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, and responsible consumption and production, climate action, life below water, life on land, places and justice, and strong institutions, partners for the goals to be thought of. All these 7 targets are very important, and you are expected to find out. It's a research topic which can be pursued by you, that which goal we can achieve with neuronomics. This is an assignment I'm giving to you, that neuronomics for goal number 1, no poverty, Can no poverty be ensured by adopting neonomics? Can we have zero hunger? I told to you, we are on 105th basically ranking under global hunger index. In that scenario, we have to think of. And all these aspects have been talked about. But let me tell you, 5 of these 7 targets are related with quality of education, meaning thereby we have to be very careful in understanding things. My dear friends, we have to do what, why, when, where, for whom. This question should ponder over our mind to achieve sustainable development goals. What we should do, what we should not do. We should not pollute. We should not go in for global warming, and how it can be done. That is to be thought of in terms of the objectives of sustainable development goals. There are 17 targets. Why and why not? When not? Where not? For whom? There are many challenges. I have already talked to you. There are many challenges to be faced to achieve the sustainable development goals. But even in that scenario, we have to work without worries. That is the mandate of the Neonomic school of thought, which we will pursue now. As you know, stakeholders of education of Gita-based Neonomics, society have to be conceived in right perspectives. I have defined society long ago. In one of my greetings of a new year, I greet the entire global society as all minus I. That time I used the word all minus you. I got a letter from a professor from JNU. You have greeted the entire society, but you have excluded me. So after that, I started using all minus I. I myself is not society, but around I is society, around you is society, that we have to bother. And in terms of economics and neonomics, this society is divided into 4 actors. Probably all of you are aware. That is divided into consumers, producers, distributors, and traders. When I was a student, I was told that producer is a hero, because at that time we were talking of Say's law of market. You might have heard about. Say's law of market talks of supply creates its own demand. But today, market is full of goods. Global economy is suffering from recession, not because of supply chain, but it is because there is no buyer. There is scarcity of demand. People don't have purchasing power. In that scenario, we have to understand the relevance of neonomics for achieving the sustainable human development goals. Sustainable development goals as such, 17 targets, and 5 out of them are related with quality of education. So out of these 4 actors which are performing in the economy, we have to address one as hero. Many times we ask this question in the interviews also. But sometimes if I ask a question, who is the hero of economics or neonomics, people sometimes say Adam Smith, or sometimes people will say my name, that he has perceived the neonomics. So no, the hero of present economy is consumer. Whatever we have to do today, we have to do it for the sake of consumer. Consumer is king. And from that point of view, we have to find out what this consumer is interested in. As you know, in Bollywood and Herowood, every hero is interested in heroine. Similarly, in economics, in neonomics, we talk of goods and services. And services have become more important than goods today. We talk of standards, we talk of quality, we talk of international standards, right? Jaykant, if I ask you a question, what is the difference between guarantee and warranty?
Sir, the warranty, sir, a guarantee means if a product is defective, then you can replace it.
Wonderful.
With the new item.
Wonderful.
And what is warranty, sir? The defective item can be manufactured or can be improved by the defective parts, and
let me
the same
explain you.
item
I just
cannot be
want to make you
replaced
laugh.
by the new one.
Jaykant, you will never forget this definition. You know, in the last 2024 elections, Modi ji was giving a guarantee. I had mustered up the courage to ask him, what is the difference between guarantee and warranty? I conceptualize guarantee is like a girlfriend. If you don't like, replace it. G for guarantee, G for girlfriend. Meaning thereby there is a replacement in guarantee. Whereas in warranty, there is no replacement. Warranty is like a wife which cannot be replaced, but can be repaired only. Warranty talks of repair and guarantee talks of replacement, just to make you laugh. And you will never forget this definition, guarantee and warranty, right? So these services have to be insured for the consumers as a hero. And all those who become hurdle to meet the hero and heroine. Hero and heroine is to meet in any Bollywood and Hollywood film. Similarly, in our economic system, hero consumer is interested in goods and services. And all those who create problems for a hero to meet the heroine, meaning thereby, if consumer is not able to get goods and services, maybe because of inflation, maybe because of the policy instruments we are talking about, we have to solve these problems. Okay, so I will come one by one. These are very important issues which we'll be talking about. As I told to you, for whom we are working. As I was telling you that consumption, need of consumption has to be understood, and how to solve the problems prevailing in the society. Many people said that we have to minimize consumption. Many people say that people are dying because of starvation. People are dying due to overconsumption. And let me tell you, the death rate due to starvation is lesser than the death rate due to overconsumption. In India, death due to overconsumption is more than the death rate due to starvation. We are talking of solving the hunger problem. Zero hunger is to be brought out in under sustainable development goals. From that point of view, this need of consumption has to be understood. You know, our culture in India is we eat to live. Whereas if you talk to any American, Americans say we live to eat. Sadly, our attitude has to be modified, have to be transformed toward need of consumption as mindful consumption, judicious consumption, rightful consumption, meaning thereby we have to adopt eclectic approach towards consumption. Let me share with you that I have many dictionaries at my home, but these days Google Baba is giving you answer for any question, but we have been using dictionaries. From the very beginning, you know, we have been talking about consumption investment paradox. Eating food is consumption or eating food is investment. You know, if we have to go in for eating excellently to work efficiently, understand that. If we have to eat food to earn livelihood, to work efficiently with productivity, then food is a investment. And let me honestly tell you, wasteful consumption may be called consumption, but any consumption which leads to increase in your efficiency and productivity is to be treated as investment. So need of consumption is to be understood in that narrative that practically by the consumers, it has to be eclectic approach to be adopted, and they have to go in for need of consumption as mindful consumption, neither low nor more overconsumption, but righteous consumption. Here in this indifference map, somebody has placed, what is this? Some lines are coming on my PPT. How it is coming? Not from my side. Why these lines are coming, Jayakant? Somebody is reacting to that?
वो एनोट बंद करना होगा सर।
I have to stop it?
एनोटेशन के अंदर कुछ कर रहे थे, कोई कर रहा होगा।
Oh, ask him to stop it.
स्टॉप
Anyway,
प्लीज।
so as a consumer, it is our responsibility how to behave ethically to search the solutions of sustainable development goals. And first thing, you know, if we talk in terms of solving of the problem of poverty and of zero hunger, we have to think, should we reduce this consumption to a lower level? There are people, poor people, whose marginal propensity to consume is very high. For them, we have to increase consumption. They have to go to a higher level. So this indifference map has to be understood in proper perspectives that can solve many problems. Now, if I want to prevail upon you that for achieving sustainable development goals, we have to observe spirituality and materialism are complementary to each other. Neonomics is practically based on spiritually guided materialism strategy from Gita. I was referring to shloka number 22 of chapter 9, where Lord Krishna says, Anyanya chintanto mayojana priyupaste tesham nityabhyuktanam yogam khemam bhamyam. Meaning thereby, if you know very well what is the shape of indifference curve in case of complementary goods. If we want to go to higher level, it is not possible that we increase the number of goods of one commodity and we forget the other. Therefore, this spiritualism and materialism are complementary to each other. It has to be understood in right perspective when we talk of needonomics, economics of needs for achieving the sustainable development goals. So, you know very well, for normal goods, we were having a rectangular hyperbola, but for complementary goods, we have this indifference curve. We have to understand in right perspective. Now, when we talk in terms of becoming Viksit Bharat, when we talk in terms of achieving efficiency, sufficiency, and equity, we have to go in for need of production. Most of the programs going in our country on production, Skill India, Make in India, and then we go in for that. We have to open this what you call cloud shops, and we go in for what the third thing what we do is we go in for let me remind it, I'll tell you all those schemes which are there to increase the productivity, whether it is the micro enterprises, small enterprises, medium enterprises, large enterprises, all the endeavors are to increase to the higher productive possibility curve. Modi ji has been talking of be vocal for local, but I always say be vocal for global. Our productive capacity should not be for us only. We have to produce something more than what we consume. We have to supply to other countries also. So this productive capacity has to be increased. I was telling to you that today the global market is having recession, and that is not because of supply chain. Productive capacity is there in the economy, and that is because of buyers are not there. Buyers don't have purchasing power. In that scenario, if at all we are talking of Skill India, startup scheme, Make in India, micro, small, medium enterprises, where they should concentrate? Should they concentrate to increase manufacturing? Should they go in for services? What kind of entrepreneurship we need in the economy? So I tell that productive capacity is certainly to be increased, but we should not go in for manufacturing as such, because most of the products available in the market, even in Indian market, produced by China are cheaper, and labor cost here is higher. Because of that, we should not concentrate on manufacturing. Rather, we should think in terms of services, entrepreneurship in services. Marketing is most of them. Let me honestly tell you, marketing is required. Products are there, but we have to learn how to sell that. I'll be telling it little later how to go in for marketing strategy for that. Now, take into account that producer have to produce whatever is required by the consumer. We cannot go in for producing anything or everything. It is only the need of the consumer have to be taken into account by the producers. And from that point of view, I consider tourism as a service. And that tourism for looking at the culture, diversity, flora and fauna of India, we should encourage tourism in a big manner, because the multiplier of tourism is the highest one. It has direct and indirect employment. So productive capacity has to be increased by having entrepreneurship in services more than entrepreneurship in manufacturing is the mandate of the Nidonomic school of thought. This is a very important issue. If you have seen today's newspaper, Jayakant, have you seen today's newspaper? Yesterday, there was an announcement of Nobel laureates 2024. Have you noted down these three names? These are Darren Acemoglu, he is Turkish American from MIT. James A. Robinson, he is from University of Chicago, British American. Simon Johnson, MIT. You must note down what for they have been given the Nobel Prize. They have studied basically the inequalities in wealth. Inequalities in wealth has been studied by these three Nobel laureates. And there can be various questions in general study paper that who is the youngest one out of the three? It is the Turkish economist Darren Acemoglu, who got this Nobel Prize at the age of 57. And the oldest is James A. Robinson from University of Chicago. And most importantly, let me tell you, as I justify that sustainable development goals can be achieved by Nidonomics. And when they talked of solving the wealth inequalities, they held responsible the social institutions. Institutions are more important in the prosperity, and we have to find out why this gap is occurring between the income inequalities. You know, the gap between income inequalities, wealth inequalities, gender inequalities, consumption inequalities are taking place, and that is to be measured by these two techniques. One is Lorentz curve. Lorentz curve is a gap from this line of equal distribution. More the gap, more inequality. Less the gap, less equality. Similarly, there is a concept Gini coefficient. The area under the Lorentz curve divided by area under the Lorentz curve plus area above the Lorentz curve to in between line of equal distribution. So these two methods have been used to understand these income inequalities, wealth inequalities, gender inequalities, as well as consumption inequalities. To my mind, as a Nidonomist, I believe we have to address consumption inequalities more than the wealth inequalities. We have to find out why these inequalities are taking place and what are the solutions for that. Let me tell you, consumption inequalities are there. You know, if I tell you that the consumption of paper in USA is 400 times than India, and we are talking of global warming, environmental issues, sustainable development goals. And this is because of global warming is taking place of more consumption in US, which is 400 times. So we have to bother about consumption inequalities more than the wealth inequalities and the income inequalities, the issue which we must understand in solving the problem of sustainable development as such and sustainable development goals which we have to achieve. This is the most important thing. When we talk about the global economy, we have to understand this Edgeworth contract curve of exchange, where we should go in for trade. You know, this is a contract curve, which is the best curve to go in for trade. One country is producing good X, another country is producing good Y. Where they should go in for? They should start from here, here, or here. You know, if we are talking from the point of view of, say, India, we have to be at this point D. Here, our bargaining power is better than any other country. So this is to be understood bilaterally and multilaterally to go in for Nido trade, Nido export and import. We cannot think of solving the problems of the global economy without understanding the implications for Nido trade coming from Nidonomics. So my dear friends, if I prevail upon you to understand the concept of Nidonomics for achieving sustainable development goals, 7 targets in letter and separate, we have to understand this 360-degree development of Nidonomics, which is practically starting from Nido consumption by consumers, Nido production by producers. And let me tell you, producers should produce only those goods which are required by the consumers. And consumers should be producer friendly. Sometimes producers are not able to sell. They are producing disposable items. We should not find out the jugaads. Rather, we should go in for replacing the goods in case we want to increase the productive capacity of the economy. Similarly, producers have to go in for needle distribution by the distributors. There are two issues related with distributors, because one is sharing the production among all the stakeholders, but sharing the factors of production is also a very important issue, and need to trade by the traders, including experts. So you kindly understand the phenomena. I'm raising the issues before you to understand the functioning of the entire economy in achieving the sustainable development goals and going in for practically now. If you want to achieve sustainable development goals by 2030, Modi ji is talking of Viksit Bharat by 2047. Sustainable development goals are earlier to Viksit Bharat. In that scenario, we have to learn to behave. Need to convert this monkey mind, misuse of artificial intelligence, into monk mind for fetching the fortunes from Gita-based Nidonomics as yoga. I call it yoga. Nidonomics is yoga. How to go in for understanding, analyzing, interpreting Nidonomics as yoga? You simply go in for, say, producing, go in for earning income. Your income should be more than your consumption, but that you have to share with others so that altruism can be done. Therefore, I conceptualize yoga as spiritual mathematics. 1 + 1 = 1. That is practically coming from Gita. Gita says, one soul, we are soul, and soul is to ultimately join the super soul after death. And in that scenario, every soul added to God becomes one, one in all in one. That has to be understood when we talk in terms of Gita-based Nidonomics for achieving the sustainable development goals, for altruism, solving the problems of the poor people, removing the problem of hunger, poverty, as well as health issues, all kind of things. Goddess Saraswati uses a swan as her vehicle, which has a sensitive beak that enables to distinguish milk from mixture of milk and water and symbolizes the power of discrimination between good and bad, valuable and useless. So, my dear fraternity of teachers in economics, we have to learn that basically Bharat is a knowledge seeker economy, and we are sons, children of Goddess Saraswati. Goddess Saraswati has a vehicle, swan. And I have been talking about swan strategy. Adopt swan strategy to understand what is good and bad, what is valuable and useless. If you put a swan, water with milk and water, you will find that she will suck only milk and leave water. This is a very important power of discrimination. With the vehicle of swan, we have to learn to come out of the solutions of the economy. And sustainable development goals, I was telling to you that 5 of 17 targets of SDGs 2030 on quality education and learning outcomes calls for fine-tuning the education under Indian knowledge system. That's very important. National education policy is talking of holistic education, holistic development, Indian knowledge system to be adopted, and Gita-based Nidonomics is part and parcel of this Indian knowledge system to be understood, analyzed, and adopted for achieving the targets of Sustainable Development Goals 2030. Need to develop wisdom for becoming deserving children of Goddess Saraswati and must know that where Saraswati resides, Goddess Lakshmi soon arrives. It's a very important thesis which I am putting before you, that how we can go in for promoting knowledge economy better than the economy by the business people. You know, Saraswati resides, Goddess Lakshmi soon arrives. Therefore, in the knowledge economy of India, we have to promote this skillfulness, which is practically coming from Karam Yoga. We talk of skill India. Skillfully performing our work skillfully is Karam Yoga, with concentration, Dhyan Yoga, with attachment, with no attachment to the outcome, Gyan Yoga, to be understood as yoga. And that is nothing but the summation of your work culture with ethics required in my beloved country to achieve sustainable development goals by 2030 and achieving Viksit Bharat towards 2047. To ensure sustainable development in contemporary world, needonomics is necessary and sufficient with priority over and above greedonomics. Let me tell you, problems prevailing in the society today are because of greedonomics, economics of greed. We talk of terrorism, corruption, discrimination, discontent, all kind of problems we are facing today at the global level is because of this greedonomics. United States is a present friend of only those countries who buy their armaments, and practically the wars are going on. That is also because of greed. Therefore, we have to say no to this greedonomics and practically solve the problems based on Gita-based needonomics, and that provides the solution. Spend money honestly. We don't know how to spend money, let me honestly tell you. If I talk about the national economy, I'll talk about 4 policies we have to consider in our economy to solve the problems. Firstly is the fiscal policy, which is presented by the government of India through budgets every year. This year, recently, in July, Finance Minister presented the budget 2024-25, and that is part and parcel of fiscal policy. There we talk of subsidies also. Although subsidy is not that way big amount, only 9% of the resources are going on that, but that can be brought to zero level. If at all we have to solve the problems by solving the problem of Indian economy. I talk of that sometimes we ask the manufacturing sector to modernize the production, go in for exports, but in exports we talk about second-hand imports because the resources available to modernizing production is not sufficient, and the monetary policy is not allowing them funds. This has to be talked about later when you will ask me question, how do you correlate these 4 policies? To operate the manufacturing sector or the services sector, we need to modernize our technology. But for modernizing technology, resources are not sufficient. We go to monetary authority, which gives us on a rate of interest and with a cap. That problem can be solved by having zero subsidy and giving money to the people at a zero rate of interest without limit, and that can modernize the production and that can go in for exports. We can become number 1 in export by solving many of the problems available in the Indian economy. Therefore, all these 4 policies, monetary policy, fiscal policy, manufacturing policy, and foreign trade policy have to be understood in right perspective for solving the problems of sustainable development goals in the economy. Spirituality and modernism are complementary and justify spiritually guided materialism strategy practically flowing from Gita, authenticated in Shloka 22 of chapter 9. Now, let me come, as all the stakeholders of the economy, our consumers, producers, distributors, traders, policymakers, bureaucratic innovators, they have to be street smart and simple. Even the educators of needonomics like you and me, all of us have to become street smart. If you put it in Google search engine, you will find smart cities, smartphone, sometimes over smart, sometimes stupid smart, but we have to learn to become street smart. That we have learned during COVID era when we were asked to go in for online education. Online education is going to become substitute, if not complementary, because most of the programs in the country are online. And NEP, UGC is talking of distributing the workload 40% in online mode, that is through internet, and 60% through offline in the classroom setting. But to be honest with you, all the stakeholders in the economy have to become street smart. Without this, we are not going to achieve the sustainable development goals. We have to bring transparency. As I told to you that our leaders, even in power and opposition, make use of the same data. Sometimes they say that this is good for the economy. Sometimes they say that it's bad. Like I was giving you the data on global hunger index. We are 105 among 127 countries in 2024. The government says that this data machinery is not practically on proper indicators. Try to understand the issues which are related with the global hunger index How we claim to be better than simply by giving free food to poor people, 5 kg of wheat? That is not going to solve the problem. So we have to understand the issues transparently. We brought down RTI proved to be wrong, and many people are becoming basically the criminals, in the sense that are making use of Right to Information Act, white collar criminals for which there is no data. Today, we talk about artificial intelligence. The uses are fine, but misuses are also taking place. Therefore, we have to be very careful in using the artificial intelligence, how to stop these cyber criminals with alertness, awakening, and awareness by Vivek. Then only we can ensure transparency. Otherwise, we are going to miserably fail in achieving sustainable development goals, as well as the Viksit Bharat will be a distant dream for us. We need to be responsive. You know, sometimes we are not able to solve the problem in the right perspectives of the economy, and we need to be responsive. If we talk about basically the data collection in our country, how much time it takes. If I tell you the data recently has come on inflation, there are two kinds of inflation we talk about: wholesale price index based inflation and consumer price based index inflation. And there is a data gap. And we talk every month these days. Earlier, it used to be weekly inflation rate. Now they said that this month in October, the inflation rate is this. Practically, it is not a monthly inflation rate. We are doing annual rate of inflation monthly. So responsiveness is to be required. Certain things we have to do it 24 hours, 7 days maximum. Like, you know, we have been talking about population as a problem. How to measure population is a big issue. And we are now thinking to go in for 2024 census. Government is preparing for that. It is issues being debated and discussed. Practically, opposition is saying that we should have caste-based population and census, and that is why the issues are being delayed. We were to conduct this census 2021 after 11. Data problems are there, but don't you think that when we are having Aadhaar card for everybody, even the newly born child is to be given Aadhaar card? Why can't we use Aadhaar card data for solving the problem of population data and coming out that how much is the population? Why to waste the resources in terms of calculating the population by having census 2024 when we will be appointing teachers for the census? So that responsiveness has to be brought, and we have to learn certain things. The best practices available around the world. Let me honestly tell you, there are countries like South Korea, which is celebrating Independence Day with us on August 15. They are ahead of us in many things. And let me tell you, you are consuming most of the goods today. I am consuming this mobile coming from Samsung, and we are using car coming from Hyundai, and many of the LG products at home, which are of quality. And let me tell you, that is being produced by small, beautiful country, having population of 5 crores only. We are now around 147 crores. That 5 crore people are producing commodities for the entire world. And let me tell you, they have to work only for 5 months. Out of 12 months, 7 months is snow. Many of them are not able to work. In that scenario, they are at the top in terms of the economic indicators. And that is because of their culture. They have a culture called Pali Pali culture. Whereas in our country, we talk about haste makes waste. Jitni jaldi karoge, utni der ho jayegi. But that calls for becoming responsive, solving the problems quickly, immediately, Pali Pali, hurry up and be quick, like Koreans. And we have to adopt 24-hour, 7 days model. And let me tell you, my dear friends, we are believing in target-oriented approach of wasting resources. Now we have been talking of Sustainable Development Goals 2030 to be achieved. We are not monitoring it properly, although Niti Aayog claims that we are doing wonderfully better than many of the countries, but still target-oriented approach of wasting the resources is being followed in the budgetary plans. And let me tell you, 31st March has become a ritual day. In the financial system, we have a financial year starting up April 1st to 31st March. April 1st is a fool's day, and we keep our making people fool throughout the year. Therefore, we have to stop that. Instead of that, we should become action-oriented and result-oriented in achieving the objective. And that calls for morality and ethics. Here, I want to draw your attention. Today, I saw one advertisement that tomorrow, October 16, is Global Ethics Day. Therefore, our behavior as consumer, as producer, as distributor and trader should be ethical, moral. Our conduct should be ethical. Our behavior be moral. Ethical behavior is required. Then only we can solve the problem. Let me tell you, task of neuronomics is to demonstrate that it has solution of all the problems prevailing in the society, and that talks of becoming street smart consumers, producers, distributors, and traders. And not only that, we have to become simple in the strict sense of the term. Mahatma Gandhi has been talking of simple living and high thinking. He has also been telling that earth produces sufficient to satisfy needs, but no to greeds. But my dear friends, let me tell you, simple living and high thinking, Mahatma Gandhi talked of. I, being a student, teacher, and researcher living in Kurukshetra, always say simple living and no thinking. No thinking does not mean that we should not think. We should think of those things which are in our control, and we should not think of those things which are not in our control. And that is the message of my Guru Gita. And we have to understand this simple model, which has 6 alphabets. And I have come out with the solution of the problems for sustainable development goals by enhancing the emotional quotient of the people in the entire nation, because IQ has become obsolete today. IQ is just by your phone, mobile and your laptop and iPad. Therefore, if at all we can be superior to these machines, it is possible by enhancing the emotional quotient. And let me tell you, we can develop it further. Emotional quotient can be developed by enhancing our motivation power, by learning self skills, self-centeredness, not selfish. Let me tell you, self-centered is different from selfishness. People talk of we have to become selfless. Yes, we have to become selfless, but it is possible by becoming self-centered, and we have to motivate ourselves, motivate others, and we have to empathize with them, not sympathize with them. Love oneself attitude has to be developed. We talk of I love India, I love and all that, but practically during COVID era, we have learned that we have to adopt this love oneself attitude as a soul. Let me tell you, Gita tells that who am I? I am a soul. As soul, death rate is 0 because soul is immortal and death rate is 0. As physical body, death rate is 100%. Why to worry? So, loving oneself attitude by one soul added to God becomes one. That leads us to salvation, getting at moksha. And you know, a sound mind lives in a sound body, justify physical development. Here, let me draw kind attention to the fact that WHO has come out with a health protocol during COVID era. It has talked of 4 things: washing your hands again and again, wearing mask, physical distancing, and then going in for COVID vaccination. The most important thing for us in India is physical distancing. You know, when this mandate came that from the WHO, people around the world stopped shaking hands, hugging. They have adopted Namaste and Namaskar, which we do in our country. Therefore, this is a positive impact of British rule. This COVID era for India, that health culture given to us by WHO has internationalized Namaste and Namaskar, mental level development. For achieving our goals at all levels, whether we talk of Viksit Bharat or whether we talk of sustainable development goals, we have to change our mindset. Mental level development should take place. We should stop blame game. We should stop war of words, and ultimately we can achieve the objectives of sustainable human development goals. Let me tell you, my dear friends, practically sustainable development goals calls for change in the mindset of the government, change set in the mind of the consumers, producers, distributors, and we have to change our looks, we have to change our actions, we have to change our words to make it law of the land. Then only we will be able to solve the problem of sustainable development goals. And I have an intuition, India is going to solve the sustainable development goals. As you know, Niti Aayog is monitoring it, doing it very well. And practically, Viksit Bharat is also a distant dream, what we are going to achieve. And I believe that it is because of spirituality. The rate of progress in spirituality is faster than the rate of progress in materialism. That is the mandate of Neuronomic School of Thought, to adopt the spiritual quotient development. With this, we can achieve the this street smart and simple model. And ultimately, to achieve Viksit Bharat or to achieve Sustainable Development Goals 2030. How to reach there? To reach there, we have to read Gita and Anugita to recall self as soul, empowerment with enlightenment, altruistic approach with commitment. Altruistic approach you can learn from NSS, not me, but you logo. And let me tell you, not like Americans, if you take care of me, I'll take care of you. It is altruistic. You help others without expecting from them anything. That is called altruistic approach. And that should be done with commitment. We should be committed to solve the problems of sustainable development goals as well as Viksit Bharat by holding on needs, probably that can solve most of the problems. So the entire gamut of the issues which can be summarized into this 360-degree four quadrant in terms of need of consumption, need of saving, need of investment, need of wealth, need of health, and need of happiness by going in for achieving the sustainable development goals. My dear friends, let me conclude now. The potential middle class consumers. You know very well, many of the problems are not affecting poor people, near or rich people. It is only the middle class consumers who are bothered about their consumption level. With nido consumption, they have the responsibility to uplift producers with nido production and vice versa. This is a research topic I'm giving to you. Whether production, nido production should come up to the expectations of consumers, or consumers should go in for taking the responsibility for promoting the producers to ensure the removal of that what you call global recession in the economy, which is not there because of there is no demand, because there is no buyers. The people don't have purchasing power. In knowledge economy, Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge, creativity, and learning wisdom, rules to help us generate Lakshmi, wealth and prosperity. Let me honestly tell you, today, if at all, we can have prosperity, wealth, that is possible through knowledge economy, for which we worship Saraswati, Lakshmi, although we will sleep, worship on Diwali, but we have to equally give credit to Saraswati in the knowledge economy. And the economy can be people friendly if we adopt a NEW approach of nido marketing. I was telling to you that producers can supply in the market, and for that, we have to learn something from nidonomics. My dear friends, Rajini, what is the problem with you? Why are you not sitting properly? Rajini, what is this? I'm showing you something, Rajini. Dr. Rajini, Gautam, what is this? Unmute yourself.
That is pen, sir.
No, I am not showing you pen. It is a pen type water filter. I'm showing you for say creating your need for that. You know, the market is full of goods. They are finding the problem of buyers. Like I have identified this product for you. Now, the question is, if I don't tell you the cost, you may be interested to buy it because it can purify water anywhere and everywhere. You can put it in your pan, like in your pocket, and you can move with it and you can purify the water. Meaning thereby, you need this. Do you need it? Ganesh, do you need it?
Yes, sir. I
Meaning
need it.
thereby, what I did, I created a need. Create the need of the products which are available in the market. That is a message from Nidonomics NEW approach. After that, make it affordable. Ganeshji, if I tell you it costs in dollars, $500, are you ready to buy? Do you have
No.
dollars in your pocket? No. It is my
No.
duty now to make it affordable. If I say MM-TTC running Durgavati Vishwavidyalaya is going to supply you at 1 rupee per day for
$1.
365 days, probably I'm making it affordable and pricing it worth of it. Therefore, this NAW approach of marketing, nido marketing, has to be understood for creating a need for the product, making it affordable, and price worth of the goods that can solve the problems of the global economy practically, which is suffering from recession caused by lack of demand, not of supply. So, the simple solution to our problems caused by greedonomics, economics of greed, in present times lies in Gita-based nidonomics, which should be understood in totality for nido health, nido wealth, and nido happiness, along with nido consumption, nido saving, nido investment, nido growth, nido employment, nido entrepreneurship, nido trade, and nido altruism as its domain in the nido lifestyle. To catch up on the achievements with nido move with altruism as an art of giving, nido transform from global economy by harnessing Gita-based nidonomics, becomes street smart and simple to achieve anything and everything in the economy for achieving sustainable development goals and Viksit Bharat. So, my dear friends, these days I am writing articles on acadnews.com. All these dimensions I have been referring you, I have just delivered in 1 hour. You can find out 15 articles. 16th article will be published in a day or two, but you can find all dimensions of sustainable development goals as well as the economic issues. You can learn from these articles. Moreover, I have been writing blogs in nidonomics.wordpress.com. Today I have written 245th blog on this. And I have 270 blogs on Speaking Tea Times of India. And you can search me in Google. Better you search me in Google, nidonomics and its relevance in all the issues for consumers, producers, distributors, traders, policymakers, bureaucratic innovators. You will find a lot of articles, lot of literature. My objective here today is to create your interest practically to understand this, analyze it, interpret it, and adopt it for solving the problems of sustainable development goals in right and simple. So, my dear friends, I have tried my level best to make you understand the conceptualization of nidonomics, which is required to be adopted as an alternative strategy for solving sustainable development goals by 2030 and achieving Viksit Bharat status for India by 2047. Thank you very much. I think I have spoken more than 1 hour. Now we can find some time for question answer session.
Sir, one thing that I want to know.
Yes.
Sir, and sir, what is
Yeah.
that NAW approach, sir? What is that?
NAW?
Yes, sir.
I have explained it. Create a need of pen-type water filter for you. Need.
Yes, sir.
Affordability. Make it affordable and worth pricing.
Okay. Need.
I told you I created a need for pen-type water filter.
Okay.
Then I made it affordable, that not for
Affordable.
you $500, but it is 1 rupee per day for 365. Made it affordable and priced it worth of it.
Okay, worth.
You know, the most tragic part of our economy is MRP.
Yes,
MRP has become basically a ritual for many of the sellers, whereas it is available in wholesale market in 110th. Some people give concession 25%, 30%, 50% on an MRP. This is the tragedy. That is why we are not able to solve the problem of the global economy by basically adopting this NAW approach. That is the solution of the problem. Yeah. Anybody else? You just asked to have a photograph. Just open your cameras and take some photographs. Have you taken some photographs?
Yes, sir. Definitely, I have taken the photograph.
Okay, transmit it to Pandeji, who will transmit it to me. We can make a press release and let not only the audience here, only 41, let the entire Jabalpur and Kurukshetra understand what I talked today. Rajni Gautam, you introduce yourself.
सर नमस्कार.
कैसे हैं रजनी जी?
बहुत बढ़िया है सर. मैं
कहाँ से बोल
डॉक्टर
रही हैं
रितिक
आप?
गौतम.
कहाँ से बोल रहे हैं आप?
शहडोल से है सर.
कहाँ से?
पंडित शंभुनाथ. शहडोल शंभुनाथ यूनिवर्सिटी.
कहाँ है ये?
शहडोल से.
अच्छा, गुड, वेरी गुड.
मध्य प्रदेश.
मध्य प्रदेश में. अच्छा, क्या सब्जेक्ट है आपका?
जी सॉरी सर. कॉमर्स सर.
कॉमर्स वालों को भी ये अडॉप्ट करना चाहिए. देखिए, nidonomics is not meant for economics only. It has the solution of all the problems. Even you can go in for nido finance, nido marketing, and all kind of nido entrepreneurship. So try to develop your research aptitude for that. I was talking to Pandeji that I'll talk about the research methodology to be understood practically for adopting neuronomics in all these solutions.
मैं अभी बात करूंगा सर आपसे टाइम टेबल देख के।
यस, चित्रा गर्ग। चित्रा जी कहाँ से
गुड मॉर्निंग सर।
ये आप अपना ये अच्छा, वेरी गुड चित्रा जी, बोलिए चित्रा जी।
सर मैं गवर्नमेंट कॉलेज तिगांव से बोल रही हूँ एंड इट इज सिचुएटेड इन डिस्ट्रिक्ट फरीदाबाद सर, हरियाणा।
यस, आई नो बोलिए विच कॉलेज?
थैंक यू सर। सर गवर्नमेंट कॉलेज तिगांव।
वेरी गुड, बहुत बढ़िया, बोलिए। आपका चेहरा नजर नहीं आ रहा चित्रा जी।
अच्छा,
हाँ।
कान पास में रख लेती है ना तो चेहरा।
जी
बोलिए चित्रा जी, कुछ कह रही थी आप?
कल नेटवर्क ठीक नहीं चल रहा है सर।
ये these are the limitations of
जी।
this online education.
हाँ जी
और
आधा
सर,
घंटा हम
बहुत
इसलिए रखते हैं भैया डिस्कशन
इंफॉर्मेटिव
करने के
लेक्चर
लिए।
था सर, सस्टेनेबल। सर बहुत इंफॉर्मेटिव लेक्चर था सर आपका सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट के ऊपर। थैंक।
गांव में कभी करिए ना कोई सेमिनार वर्कशॉप कीजिए। आई विल कम टू डिलीवर ऑफलाइन।
सर जी नमस्ते।
नमस्ते।
नमस्ते, मैं गणेश हिरोचे माई सेल्फ,
वेरी
जिजामाता महाविद्यालय बुलढाणा।
गुड़गांव,
आई एम
बुल्ढाना
जिजामाता महाविद्यालय बुलढाणा,
बुल्ढाना कहाँ है ये?
महाराष्ट्र महाराष्ट्र महाराष्ट्र
महाराष्ट्र में। गुड, वेरी गुड।
महाराष्ट्र। बहुत अच्छा इंफॉर्मेटिव लेक्चर था सर जी आपका। बहुत बहुत नीडो इकोनॉमिक्स ये कंसेप्ट मैंने मेरे लाइफ में फर्स्ट बार आई अंडरस्टैंड दिस। और बहुत बहुत सर आपके लिए शुभकामनाएं और बहुत अच्छा लगा सर आपसे।
मेरा
थैंक यू।
निवेदन है आप सबसे कि आप लोग इसको परस्यू करें, रिसर्च करें इस पे आगे। हम लोग तो पता नहीं एक्सपेक्ट करेंगे नहीं करेंगे। जैसे आज ये मोटिवेशन मिल रहा था ना नोबेल लॉरेट्स का, तो इससे इन इश्यूज को जिनको हाईलाइट करना होता है ना, जैसे आप न्यूरोनॉमिक्स को सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल से जोड़ दो, तो ऑल ऑफ यू कैन एस्पायर टू बी ए रिसर्चर टू वर्क ऑन दिस।
जी बताइए।
ओके सर। बहुत बहुत सर जी नीडोनॉमिक्स पे आपने जो व्याख्यान दिया उस पर से हमको जो सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट थ्रू नीडोनॉमिक्स एंड बेस्ड ऑन भगवत गीता, और उसमें जो भगवत गीता का जो आपने इंक्लूड किया कि कहाँ पे है, और 1+1 इज इक्वल टू 1, तो सोल इज 1 एंड आवर फिजिकल बॉडी इज 1 पर ऑल इज 0। आई अंडरस्टैंड दिस फर्स्ट टाइम और बहुत अच्छा लगा सर सुन के। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
वेरी। अभी 20 मिनट और है, कोई और डिस्कशन कराइए। वो अनुगीता के बारे नहीं पूछा किसी ने भाई?
हाँ सर, मैं पूछ रहा था अनुगीता ये क्या है नेम?
ये अनुगीता जो है, भगवान कृष्ण ने जब महाभारत खत्म हो गया तो पांडव और कृष्ण जी दिल्ली आ गए थे इंद्रप्रस्था में। दे वर इन ए सेलिब्रेशन मोड, दे वर enjoying, they were eating together, dancing together. After few days, Krishna told Arjun, I want to go to Dwarka. Arjun said, you can go to Dwarka, but kindly deliver me the message of Gita again. Lord Krishna laughed. It is not an action replay which can be done again and again, but if you want, I can give you some message. And that message is called Anugita after Mahabharata. And if you see in Mahabharata, there are 18 parvas. Gita is in 6th parva, whereas Anugita is in 14th parva. And that doesn't talk of moksha. It talks of Jivan Mukti, doing good deeds during your lifetime so that you need not to worry after death. And that is the message which we have to understand, adopt in our life, that moksha is, we don't know after death where we will go. But ultimately, we should perform our duties excellently as yoga and solve the problems of the economy as our own.
सर मेरा एक क्वेश्चन था। मुझे हमेशा अपने जीवन के बारे में थोड़ा सा प्रश्न गिरता है कि व्हाट इज द मोक्ष। मोक्ष क्या है, और मोक्ष की जो परिभाषा भगवान श्री कृष्ण ने की है कि भाई जन्म मरण के फेरे से मुक्ति,
यस।
यह मोक्ष इन्होंने बताया है। बराबर, भगवत गीता में बहुत बार पढ़ता हूँ,
वेरी
तो
गुड।
उन्होंने ये बताया। लेकिन सर मुझे अपने जो कर्म है, जो पिछले जन्म के या इस जन्म के, तो वो कर्म अपना पीछे नहीं छोड़ेंगे। तो कभी कभी ऐसा लगता है कि अपने को मोक्ष मिलेगा या फिर नहीं मिलेगा। दिस
अब
इज
मैंने
द
अभी बताया कि मोक्ष की चिंता मत कीजिए, वो डेथ के बाद मिलता है।
अच्छा।
और
तो
ये अनुगीता जो बता रहा है जीवन मुक्ति, जीवन मुक्ति
अच्छा।
मीन्स डूइंग गुड डीड्स ड्यूरिंग योर लाइफ टाइम विदाउट बॉदरिंग रिजल्ट। मैंने वो WW दिखाया था ना, वर्क विदाउट वरीज विदाउट
हाँ
एक्सपेक्टेशंस।
हाँ। अच्छा, नहीं सर, ये मेरे को पूछना था कि अपनी जीवन की जो राह है, वो मोक्ष पे आने के लिए अपने को कुछ ना कुछ तो पॉइंट ऑफ की
ऐसा
पॉइंट्स।
है ना, मोक्ष की चिंता ना कीजिए भाई, मोक्ष तो मरने
नहीं,
के बाद
अच्छा।
मिलेगा। और वो आपके पास्ट कर्मों के अलावा प्रेजेंट में आप क्या कर रहे हैं। आप हर रोज
अच्छा।
करते होंगे, उनको अगर आप इग्नोर करके आप सिर्फ अपनी तरफ से डेली कुछ ना कुछ किसी की मदद कर सकें, ऑल्ट्रुइज्म करें, दैट कैन गिव यू मोक्ष ऑल्सो। That is basically the technique with which you can have moksha. Altruism means helping others without expectation. Not me, but you. That is the message of NSS. I was talking to you when I was explaining that reach model. आप लोगों ने वो फोटो वोटो खींचा, उसका स्कैन किया हमारे PPTs को? नहीं
सर
यस सर।
जी सर।
PPTs का
अनंत सिंह जी क्या पूछ रहे हैं? कैमरा ऑन कीजिए अनंत सिंह जी। अनंत सिंह जी कैमरा ऑन कीजिए। पारधी जी।
सर
यस।
आपका अच्छा आ गया अनंत जी।
हाँ बोलिए अनंत सिंह जी। हाँ
सर काफी इंफॉर्मेटिव सेशन था कि आपने गीता को कोरिलेट करके इकोनॉमिक्स से बताया कि जो नीडो इकोनॉमिक्स है ये हमारे लिए एकदम नया चैप्टर था सर। इसके पहले हमने नीडो इकोनॉमिक्स के बारे में कभी जाना नहीं था, मगर एक आज बहुत एक अच्छी जानकारी आपके माध्यम से मिली सर। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर।
थैंक यू थैंक यू। और बोलिए। जयकांत जी परिचय करा दीजिए, अभी तो टाइम पड़ा है।
जी सर।
ये 1.5 घंटे का लेक्चर इसलिए होता है कि रिसोर्स पर्सन को बोलना चाहिए 40 मिनट, बाद में डिस्कशन के लिए टाइम रखा जाता है।
हाँ। तो सर पार्टिसिपेंट्स का इंट्रोडक्शन करवा दें
हाँ हाँ करा
कि
दीजिए।
ठीक है। तो मैं सभी से अनुरोध करना चाहूंगा, आई रिक्वेस्ट टू ऑल द पार्टिसिपेंट टू इंट्रोड्यूस वन बाय वन। An introduction include the name of the participant and the post of the participant and where they are working, presently working. ये इंट्रोडक्शन में मैं ये चाहूंगा कि आप अपना नाम बताएं और आपके पद क्या है, मूल पद क्या है और किस विषय से हैं, और आपकी वर्तमान में पदस्थापना कहाँ है। एक एक करके प्लीज।
नमस्कार सर।
नमस्कार।
हाँ, मैं कृष्ण कुमार जायसवाल, मैं छत्तीसगढ़ से हूँ सर।
वेरी गुड।
छत्तीसगढ़ के मुंगेली जिला है, वहाँ एक गांव में कॉलेज है, कोतरी कॉलेज, सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल शासकीय महाविद्यालय कोतरी है सर।
वेरी
मैं
गुड।
कॉमर्स विषय पर सहायक प्राध्यापक के रूप में पदस्थ हूँ सर।
वेरी गुड।
नमस्ते सर, मैं सेल्फ गणेश शिवाजी किरोचे, मैं सहायक प्राध्यापक कॉमर्स यह
वेरी
विषय से हूँ, और मैं मेरा कॉलेज जो है वो जिजामाता महाविद्यालय बुल्ढाना,
वेरी गुड।
महाराष्ट्र स्टेट से हूँ। थैंक यू सर।
गुड
सर मैं
मॉर्निंग सर,
नमस्ते
माई
सर।
सेल्फ
नमस्ते
गुड
सर।
मॉर्निंग
मैं सर शांता नायक।
राम शंकर।
माई
सर
सेल्फ
मेरा नाम
रमाशंकर
शांता नायक है
परफेक्ट।
सर।
हम्म।
कर्नाटक से
हेलो,
बात कर रहा हूँ सर, दावणगेरे से। ARM फर्स्ट एड कॉलेज दावणगेरे। आई एम वर्किंग एज असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर इन इकोनॉमिक्स।
बहुत बढ़िया।
थैंक
सर
यू।
मैं मैं आशीष कुमार सोनी।
माई सेल्फ रमाशंकर पाठक, असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर ऑफ इकोनॉमिक्स। मैं सर यूपी से हूँ और यूपी के रायबरेली जनपद में सर मेरा कॉलेज है, कमला नेहरू पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट कॉलेज, तेजगांव, रायबरेली।
वेरी गुड,
असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर हूँ।
बहुत बढ़िया, बहुत बढ़िया।
थैंक यू सर।
सर
I am
नमस्कार
Dr.
सर।
Sandeep Kumar Rawat, Assistant Professor in the Department of Commerce at Har Sahar PG College, Kanpur. My
बहुत बढ़िया।
specialization is Account and Finance.
सर गुड मॉर्निंग सर।
गुड
आई
मॉर्निंग
आशीष कुमार सोनी। हेलो
सर काळाजी शिवप्प। सर गुड मॉर्निंग सर।
हेलो, गुड मॉर्निंग, गुड मॉर्निंग।
काळाजी शिवप्प, ARM फर्स्ट ग्रेड कॉलेज इकोनॉमिक्स असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर सर,
वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड।
कर्नाटक
आई
स्टेट।
आशीष आई आशीष कुमार सोनी, असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर ऑफ कॉमर्स
वेरी
इन
गुड,
मध्य प्रदेश,
वेरी गुड,
डिस्ट्रिक्ट नीमच, गवर्नमेंट पीजी कॉलेज रामपुरा।
वेरी गुड, बहुत बढ़िया।
सर
मैं
Good morning, sir.
गुड मॉर्निंग।
Sneha Kumari Vishwakarma, presently working as a professor in Department of Commerce, Harsa, affiliated to the Shahuji Maharaj University, sir.
वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड।
Thank you, sir.
सर नमस्कार।
सर मैं
शरद राय, गवर्नमेंट गर्ल्स कॉलेज पिपरिया, मध्य प्रदेश, असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर कॉमर्स।
वेरी गुड।
सर नमस्कार सर, मैं डॉक्टर गौतमा कठाने, असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर इकोनॉमिक्स, गवर्नमेंट कॉलेज लांजी, बालाघाट, मध्य प्रदेश से सर।
वेरी गुड।
नमस्कार सर, कृष्ण कुमार पांडे, गवर्नमेंट कॉलेज पाटन, जबलपुर, असिस्टेंट
पाटन में एक वो
इकोनॉमिक्स।
होते थे आपके पहले, प्रोफेसर ऑफ कॉमर्स थे और वो बाद में प्रो वाइस चांसलर बने हैं।
जी
क्या नाम था उनका?
सर न्यू अपॉइंटमेंट है सर।
अच्छा अच्छा,
नहीं जाने।
नमस्कार सर,
नमस्ते।
नवीन राय, गवर्नमेंट पीजी कॉलेज पाटन, सतना से सर, इकोनॉमिक्स में सहायक प्राध्यापक में।
वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड।
गुड मॉर्निंग सर।
नमस्कार सर।
अभिषेक महापात्र, असिस्टेंट रजिस्ट्रार, बिरला इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी, नोएडा कैंपस।
वेरी गुड।
सर प्रणाम, डॉक्टर ब्रजेश कुमार यादव, दुधनी सोनभद्र से, इकोनॉमिक्स में सर मैं असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर हूँ।
वेरी गुड।
Good morning, sir. Myself, Praful Vairade, Assistant Professor, Department Commerce and Management, राष्ट्रपिता महात्मा गांधी आर्ट्स कॉमर्स साइंस कॉलेज सावली, डिस्ट्रिक्ट चंद्रपुर, महाराष्ट्र।
वेरी गुड।
नमस्कार सर, मेरा नाम प्रियंका गुप्ता, सहायक प्राध्यापक अर्थशास्त्र, शासकीय कन्या महाविद्यालय शेडोल से। सर आज के द्वारा आपके द्वारा दिया गया जो व्याख्यान है सर, बहुत अच्छा लगा, पहली बार ऐसा व्याख्यान सुनने को मिला, उसके लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर।
नमस्कार सर, मैं धर्मेंद्र नकुम, डीकेवी आर्ट्स एंड साइंस कॉलेज जामनगर, गुजरात से, असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर इन इकोनॉमिक्स सर।
वेरी गुड।
सर मैं डॉक्टर प्रज्ञा यादव, पंडित शंभुनाथ यूनिवर्सिटी शहडोल, मध्य प्रदेश से, सहायक प्राध्यापक वाणिज्य कॉमर्स से सर।
वेरी गुड।
सर नमस्कार, मैं किशोरी लाल अहिरवार, असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर इकोनॉमिक्स, गवर्नमेंट पीजी कॉलेज बालाघाट, मध्य प्रदेश से।
वेरी गुड।
थैंक यू
सर नमस्कार, जैसे मैंने एक बार अपना परिचय बता दिया है, मैं डॉक्टर रजनी गौतम, मध्य प्रदेश शहडोल, पंडित शंभुनाथ यूनिवर्सिटी में सहायक प्राध्यापक वाणिज्य विभाग में हूँ सर वर्तमान में। जी सर, आपका इतना बढ़िया मोक्ष और ये गीता पर, क्योंकि ये थोड़ा सा हम लोग क्या है कि वीडियो क्लिप पे देखते रहते हैं छोटी छोटी चीजें, तो वो अच्छा, जिस तरह आपने विस्तार पूर्वक कहा है सर, कि किसी दिन हम आपसे विस्तार पूर्वक और सुनना चाहेंगे सर। बहुत बढ़िया आपने सर वो सार बताया है गीता का।
आप ये गूगल में ढूंढिए ना, ढूंढिए गूगल में ढूंढिए।
गुड मॉर्निंग सर, आई एम डॉक्टर कमलेश कुमार पटेल फ्रॉम कानपुर, हर सहायक डिग्री कॉलेज कानपुर।
वेरी गुड।
I'm Deepti Kalra from Tegaon, Tegaon.
प्रोफेसर एंड
दीप्ति जी ये पहले अपना कैमरा ऑन कीजिए। हमारा ये ऑनलाइन का एटिकेट है कि जब भी आप बात करें या कोई इस तरीके का तो कैमरा ऑन करें।
सर कैमरा ऑन है सर।
कैमरा ऑन नहीं है आपका दीप्ति।
कैमरा है। अभी सर
सम प्रॉब्लम।
कैमरा ऑन है सर।
चलो कोई बात। पांडे जी बस ठीक है, हो गया।
सर मैं वोट ऑफ थैंक्स देना चाहूंगा सर।
अच्छा
हाँ सर आज का जो लेक्चर दैट इज द नीडोनॉमिक्स बेस्ड दैट इज इकोनॉमिक्स बेस्ड ऑन नीड्स सो कॉल्ड एज योग आपके द्वारा दिया गया सर, जिसमें आज हमने इंटर जनरेशन इक्विटी, इंट्रा जनरेशन इक्विटी and the sustainable development goal, that 17 development goal out of which 5 of which achieved from the quality of education, इस पे फोकस था सर। मोस्ट ऑफ दी जो इकोनॉमिक बेस्ड मॉडल था सर उसको भगवत गीता और अनुगीता से रिलेट करके हमने नीडो कंजम्पशन, नीडो प्रोडक्शन, नीडो डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन, नीडो ट्रेड, इन सब के बारे में बात किया सर। और ये जो पूरा सर जो लेक्चर सीरीज था दैट इज बेस्ड ऑन नीडो इकोनॉमिक्स, that is very useful for all the participant. You have also discussed the model on that is smart, what is simple, what is reach, and that is the economic based on the middle income community. That is very important for all of us, and we assure you सर, हम ऐसा आपसे वादा करेंगे कि हम अब नीडो इकोनॉमिक्स में अपने रिसर्च पेपर भी, आर्टिकल भी, इस पे अपनी हम स्किल इनहेंस करेंगे सर। Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable time and for your valuable lecture, sir.
Thank you.
सर का एक और लेक्चर होगा रिसर्च के ऊपर में, अभी टाइम ले
डेफिनेटली डेफिनेटली सर, डेफिनेटली।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर। मैं बात नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ तो
कोई बात नहीं, it's okay, fine.
आपको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद जी। डियर पार्टिसिपेंट्स, अभी हम लोग मिलेंगे 2 बजे, ठीक है। देखिए अभी 11:54 हुआ है। 2 बजे प्रोफेसर सुमनजीत दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी से, जयकांत फिर से आपके
जी
सिर
सर।
मर रहा हूँ, ठीक है।
हाँ जी
हाँ,
जी
मैं
जी सर, जी सर, आप सर इंट्रोडक्शन भेज दीजिएगा मुझे और
ठीक
वो
है।
हो जाएगा सर।
एक दो दिन आप लोग को संभालना है। स्नेहा एक दिन
हाँ हाँ सर।
संभालो, स्नेहा एक दिन
जी
संभालोगी तो
सर, जी जी
ठीक है।
जी
जयकांत स्नेहा दोनों जन मिलके, ठीक है।
ठीक है सर।
जब मैं भेज रहा हूँ ना,
सर। ओके ओके जी।
अभी इसको मैं बंद क्यों करूँ,
लीव
चालू